racism, sexism, homophobia, ableism, fat shaming, cultural appropriation, bigotry. These are all things that have plagued our society for generations. These things still run rampant in our society today, with women, blacks and other minorities all still being systematically oppressed by those with all of the privilege. What I want to talk about today is transphobia. Transphobia is one of the newer forms of problematic discrimination in today's Western society. LGBTQIA activists are fighting diligently for transgendered individuals to be recognised in the manner that they so rightfully deserve, as normal human beings. So what is transphobia? Well, transphobia is when transgender people are discriminated against based on their gender. This can include refusing to accept that there are an infinite amount of non-binary genders, not calling a person by their desired pronouns, or using derogatory terms such as the T word. Everyone deserves to be accepted for who they are. If cis men can be accepted for who they are, then why can't everyone else? See, society is run by a system that doesn't want to admit that certain groups of people just don't have the same privilege as others. People who are transphobic just help to further segregate our society, and in turn they shut down rational discourse. The epitome of this type of behaviour is best demonstrated by looking at the profile of Twitter user @MikeMa_. As you can see in this tweet by Mike, he says, "Trans people don't actually exist. Stop reading BuzzFeed." Statements like these ones are tremendously problematic, and they need to be dealt with in a civil manner, quickly and effectively. Here's an example of how I dealt with this tweet. So Mike says, "Trans people don't actually exist. Stop reading BuzzFeed." And I responded, "You are being transphobic and you need to check your cis white male privilege, you shitlord. Kill yourself." Only when we stand up to these problematic figures in society will we ever gain equality for everyone. Here's another tweet by Mike. "Trump 2016. Deport trans people." This is another example of Mike demonstrating just how bigoted he is. First off, he is supporting Donald Trump, which is a whole other issue entirely. But more importantly, he is calling for the deportation of transgendered people. How could someone ever suggest such a problematic thing? What would deporting trans people ever achieve other than promoting hatred and causing mass death around the world? Another tweet. "Trans now means wearing a ponytail and eyeliner. Forget the whole surgery regendering part." No Mike, you obviously have no idea what being trans even means. This guy calls himself a journalist, folks, yet he doesn't even check his facts before posting on his Twitter account to thousands of people. This is how hatred spawns. Transgender simply means that you do not identify with the gender that the system assigned you at birth. You see, gender is a social construct. What I mean by that is that no one is actually male or female. Society warps our minds during our life, and they warp our preferences using the media and retail products. Little things such as the male section of a toy store being blue whilst a female section is pink and filled with Barbie dolls lead us to being manipulated into thinking that we are a gender society created for us. The trans people among us are effectively the people who have managed to break free from this illusion that is the socially constructed gender identity, and instead they have found comfort in identifying with the gender that best suits themselves, whether that be binary or non-binary. Another tweet from Mike. "Why are trans people so touchy? It's almost as if they're mentally unstable or something. Or maybe it's because of the dumbasses like you discriminating against them? Maybe if cis men would check their own privilege and realise that they are holding the entire LGBTQIA community back, trans people would never have to get upset over horrible comments people make towards them. To make this tweet even worse, you are undermining the seriousness of mental illness, and as you continue to do this online, you're going to cause lots of people extreme feelings of anxiousness and insecurity. People aren't going to feel safe in their own home, and when people start to harm themselves, the blame will fall entirely on you." Snippet from tomorrow's article. "The transgender community is a disgusting open wound, and the West needs to cauterize it fast." How could someone support such a despicable human being? This guy has thousands of followers on Twitter and is being allowed to publish hateful articles on large platforms such as Breitbart and NewsThought. And now here's his article, Deport Trans People. Wow. Just wow. I'm speechless at the mere premise of this article. This article epitomizes the urgent need for reform in our society. This is why we need to be promoting all LGBTQIA groups to the front of all major platforms. We need to put an end to this sort of hate speech before it is too late. Just look at what happened in Germany all those years ago. We cannot let men like this cause such a travesty again. Moving on from the transphobia that Mike spews all over the internet, I would like to now talk about some of the other despicable articles that he has written, and other horrible things he has said and supported online. This article is titled, I Was Virtually Raped, and This Is My Story. If you are ever in an argument with an anti-feminist folks, or anyone who ever claims that rape culture doesn't exist, just please point them to this article. Mike has managed to lower himself to a whole new level of low with this piece. He is destroying the lives of women all over the world who are legitimate rape survivors. And if the article wasn't bad enough by itself, here we have a tweet from well-known sexist and rape apologist Milo Yiannopoulos, who is publicly supporting the article written by Mike. Well done, Mike. You've made it to the big leagues. I bet you're so proud of yourself. I wonder what your parents would think if they know you made such a name for yourself from the suffering of others. The thing Mike retweets are just as horrible as the content he posts himself. This tweet blatantly proves that in addition to being transphobic, ableist and a rape apologist, Mike is also Islamophobic. The tweet reads, most Nazis never killed a Jew. Only radical Nazis killed Jews. Hashtag stop Naziphobia. Next tweet from Mike reads, Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be Muslims. And yet another example of Mike promoting Islamophobia to his followers. Does this guy ever say anything rational? No, Mike never says anything rational, and this final article should be enough to confirm that for you. In this article, Mike goes on a fat-shaming rant, which could be extensively triggering to certain people. So I urge you, if you feel the need to harm yourself when someone says unnecessary, hurtful things about your weight, then please do not read this article. In fact, I encourage everyone to stay as far away from Mike as they possibly can. Add him to your universal block list. This is a human being who is wasting our planet's oxygen, and he does not deserve your kindness. Follow my lead and block this son of a bitch. Do not let his hatred travel further than it has to. I'm Rag Reynolds, and I'll speak to you all again tomorrow. Goodbye.